Hey guys, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make tech house like Michael Bibi. There's a lot of really cool techniques that I've heard in his tracks that are in a lot of tech house tracks that I haven't shown you guys before. So I'm going to be showing them to you today. I'm going to be breaking down how he does his bass lines, how to make those cool fat 909 distorted kicks, how to do the hi-hats, everything. Yeah, as usual, you can get the full project file and samples and MIDI presets. Everything from this video is available right at the top of the description. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. And yeah, let's get going. We're on 127 BPM. The first sound I have here is the kick, which sounds like this. So this is the type of kick like you hear in a lot of Michael Bibi's tracks. It's that sort of like crunchy, almost 909 kick, but there's something a little bit more to it that's making it not just like a standard 909 straight out of the drum machine. And what this is distortion. So the way that I've made this one here is I have two layers, and they're both made using a 909 kick. I have a low layer, and then this mid-range and high-end layer. And then we're just layering them together with some EQ3. So I'll take, basically the reason why I'm doing this here is just for like layering purposes. I really like the low end of this one and the mid range of this one. But I'll take off the high pass filter just to show you. So the way this kick is made is by using a 909 kick. Like I said, I have two different ones here. So we have this one. I'll turn it up a little bit. We got this one. And this one. So again, just like fat 909 kicks straight out of the 909 drum machine or a 909 sample pack, wherever you want to pull them from. And then the secret here is the distortion, and particularly how you're setting up the distortion. If you look at this, this is the low layer. I'm turning off the filter now so you can hear. What's happening is we're putting it through. I'll turn off this drum bus here and I'll turn off this drum bus here. So here's the dry 909. And then the pedal, right off the bat, gives it that like kind of that thick, like mid-rangey crunch. So again, without it, and then with it. So that's the technique, is using some kind of like a guitar pedal distortion to do this. You can either use Ableton's pedal, you can use Guitar Rig, you can use Waves, GTR, whatever it is that you want to use. But you want to aim for like a sort of, like I said, like a guitar distortion type of effect, not just like a regular distortion. And that's how you get this kind of sound. And then from there, it's just a matter of, you know, processing it a little bit more to make it hit even harder. Like we have this drum bus here, which then takes it to the next level. And then I have this drum bus here at the end of the chain, which is actually on both kicks. And you can hear that adds even more. So yeah, these kicks aren't actually that hard to make. It's actually a technique used in a lot of hard techno tracks to make those kind of kicks. Like you may actually recognize this kick from a lot of hard techno tracks. And yeah, again, it's just the distortion and then a little bit of drum bus. And then so for the layering here, again, I'm just layering these because I found this one had the best low end and this one had the best mids and highs. And then if we take off like the filter, and yeah, you know, you may need to do a bit of layering to really get it to hit right, because not all 909 samples are going to sound the same, and it's very finicky based on how you set the distortion too. Like, if you look at these, they're actually really similar settings on the pedal and the drum bus, but it's because of how, like, each one interacts differently with those things that, like, I had to separate them, because, like, on this one, for example, I needed to turn the transients way up, but then on this first one, you know, we didn't want them as high. The distortion's a little bit higher, so definitely the layering can help a lot to get the proper kind of punch out of it. And then this drum bus here is on everything, so I'll just show you what the whole kick sounds like without that. So it's almost there. But then we add it. And there you go. It gives it that last, like, extra bit of a punch boost to really get the kick to sound right. And yeah, that's how you go about making one of these kind of more crunchy, distorted style sort of 909 kicks from scratch, just using a 909 sample. The next thing we have in here is the bass line, which sounds like this. So I'll pitch this up so you can hear the notes a little bit easier. So you can hear it's this kind of like almost uneasy sounding pattern where it's just doing like those three notes together, that da, 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 those give you that kind of like uneasy feeling, and then when you add that in, you know, it's just a really cool, almost like very dark scale, but it almost has like a sense of brightness to it, if that makes any sense. And then it's just making like something that's nice and rhythmic with, you know, that plays nicely with everything else. For the sound with this one, this is made with Operator. It's just a simple FM bass where we have 3 sine waves here, and then you can see they're all set a bit differently. This is really my favorite way to make this style of tech house basses. You know, it's just a great way to make a bass that's going to be really deep and fat while still having like some mid-range and high harmonic content to it. Then after that, we have a bit of drum bass, just to fatten the bass up. Here's without it. And then with it, so you can hear how that really helps to fatten the bass up. Then we have this EQ8, which is just cutting at 100 Hz and boosting the lows a little. It just makes a little bit of room for the kick. And then finally, we just have a compressor sidechaining this a little to the kick, just to make them both fit in nicely. And then on the group of these two together, I just have a little bit of saturation. You know, this is just that last little thing that's going to make the kick and bass hit really hard, sound really full, but then also it just glues them together. So here's without it. And then with it. So yeah, subtle detail, but it just kind of brings the low end all together, I feel like. And yeah, that's it for the lows. From there we have the hi-hats, which sound like this. So it's 2 hi-hats. You know, we have this main one, and then this little one here, which just comes in to add a few extra little notes. Kind of like some background percussion. So for the main one, the main things that you want to keep in mind are, 1, shortening the sample. You can see I've taken this amplitude envelope here and turned the sustain down a bunch, turned the decay down a little bit as well. And then you get that like really short and tight sound. And then also, just like the type of sound you choose, you know, typically in these type of tracks, you need something that has a bit more punch to it. You don't want like a soft like tss, but you just want like a tsh, like hard hitting, punchy hi-hat like this. And having that kind of metallic overtone, that like tsh, over top of it, really helps too. Then we just have a bit of drum bass and a high pass filter. So here's without these. And then you can hear what that's doing, you know, it just kind of beefs everything up, glues it all together. And then for the closed hi-hat, we just have a little bit of drum bass on there. And then I've also shortened this a little. You can see I turned the fade in up a little. And yeah, this one's really simple. I just got a bit of drum bass on it. But the thing I'll say is, like, when you're choosing the samples, you definitely want to make sure that this closed hi-hat is a bit darker than the open hi-hat. Like, if you listen, the open hi-hat has like that, like those super bright frequencies. And then this one is just like a and they fit together nicely because of that, versus, you know, if you use the really big one for the closed hi-hat and a small one for the open hi-hat, it wouldn't work as well. But yeah, then after that we have this percussion down here. So I'll start with the clap. This is just pretty standard clap. The thing I'll say about this style is you just need to make sure that you have a really full clap like this. Like, you don't want one that's just like a little like kind of mid-rangey. You really need it to be this full-bodied, hard-hitting thing like this. And then to assist with that, I just have a bit of drum bus. So here's without it. And then with it. You can hear without it, it's still a nice sound. But then with it, it really has that, fullness to it. To where it'll just sit on top of the mix like that. The next percussion we have down here is this little noise stab, which sounds like this. And this just comes at the end of every 4 bars. All this is just some white noise. You can see white noise. I've got a bit of attack on it, so it's like, so it kind of opens up like that. And then I have a high pass filter, and then all we're doing is it's just playing on the upbeat of 4. So here would be where the clap hits. Like that. It's just. And yeah, so really simple. This just adds a nice kind of little thing to pull it into the next bar at the end of every 4 bars. And yeah, then after that we have this last little percussion here, which is this little rim shot type of thing. It sounds like this. You can hear it's just that little thing going at the end of every bar. So this is just this little percussion sound, and it just adds a little bit of kind of sparse percussion. The main thing with this type of sound is I think you just have to keep, or these kind of tracks is just kind of having the main elements really be the loudest things, right? If we just play those right now. Those are really the main things that you're hearing, and then these little percussion sounds are really sparse, as you can hear. When we add those in, it's just adding a little hit every here and there. And that's the purpose of this one, is just to add a bit of response to that closed hi-hat. It's the closed hi-hat will be the call, this is the response. And yeah, so then I just have that going through a little bit of drum bus, a little bit of a high pass filter as well. Here is with no group or with no processing on it. And then with it, you can hear how this is really making a big difference. To just make this all hit nicely and really bring this percussion sound out. And yeah. So yeah, that is going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the full project file and samples and MIDI presets. Everything from this video is available right at the top of the description. It's a great way to support me through these tough times we're all going through here. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.